It's from the Marvel What Ifs, where Doctor Strange, it's like a point in time that cannot be changed, no matter what.
Oh yeah, it was his girlfriend dying in a car crash.
It's like no matter what, this has to happen. No matter what, Zodd has to have his next snap.
It's like a clinch point. For time and space. Everything hinges on it.
It'll be Barry's tell of when he needs to leave that multiverse and go to a different one.
It's like in Inception how he has the little
the spinning
the dreidel, yeah. He has the dreidel or whatever, and the little top, and he knows it's his top because the way it spins. It's like, oh, thank God, I'm back to the point where Zodd gets his neck snapped. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
That's right, Chuck.
Hello there. Assemble.
Just chuck a fire.
99 nerds. We are back for episode 31, and we are extremely excited to finally have a guest back in. Not just any guest, but a guest that has already been on the podcast once before, and all of our viewers were just dying to have him back on. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Terry is in house.
Hey guys.
Say his name.
What's up, Teezy?
Not much. Glad to be back on the podcast, guys.
Sean is also here. We are just going to have a delightful discussion today. Sean, how's your day?
How's my day? Great question.
Uh-oh.
This is the week of weeks. It's my birthday week.
I knew it.
And I'm so excited because everything stops when it's my birthday.
That's right.
Yep, absolutely.
The world waits in awe.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I splurged a little.
What'd you get?
I went to the grocery store and I bought me some water flavoring Mios.
Nice.
This doesn't sound like splurging yet, but give me a second.
Sure.
Also, I bought myself some of those cool like Lego botanical sets where it's like a cactus or a fancy plant that you can make out of Legos.
Right.
So it doesn't die ever.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I bought myself a bunch of new Magic the Gathering booster packs.
Whoa.
And I have several of them. And my plan and my plot is anytime you guys say something that hurts my feelings or upsets me, I'll open one of them to make me feel better.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you brought a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I hope I would be really, it would say a lot about my life if I ran out, right?
You're going to run out before your birthday.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like you went splurge mode.
Nice try, princess.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie as well. We're going to see Ant-Man this weekend.
We are.
A big old crew of us.
For sure.
Maybe too many people, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so we got a couple things happening. First of all, we've got Ant-Man coming this week, so the next episode will be a review of Ant-Man, which we are stoked about. I have to see Shang-Chi before that. So
maybe I should watch it too.
Clock is ticking
again.
For me. I believe David.
I bet I'll see it again before you see it once.
Yeah, I would bet on that as well.
Wow.
And we also, last night was the Super Bowl. Wow, this is a nerd podcast, Austin. Why are you bringing up the Super Bowl, you sports jock? No, during the Super Bowl, the world all stopped, partially for Sean's birthday week, but more so because of the Flash trailer.
Oh my gosh.
The movie that James Gunn said, no, guys, we're keeping this one because this one is sick and you're going to want to see it. What do you think about the trailer, Zach?
I think it's great so far. I think we saw some characters in it that we didn't expect to see or hear from in the DC universe again, and I'm excited for it.
No doubt. What do you think, Sean?
Is this going to be something where they just blow up everything they've been working on and kind of hit a big old reset?
I think so.
Okay.
I think James Gunn has said, like, it's kind of like he's been saying, like,
It doesn't have to end like this.
This is the best movie that we've seen. You guys are going to love it. But it's also crucial for him so that he can just hit reset.
I'll say the trailer actually looks really good.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out why I liked it because I remember when the Justice League trailer came out with the cover of the song Come Together by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't in all of my being find a reason to care.
Oh boy.
But with the Flash, I'm
Aggressive.
interested. I don't know why.
Yeah, I it's interesting. What is it officially called? Flashpoint?
I think it's called the
Point of Flash.
I think it's The Flash is the name.
Okay.
Flash.
Because I think they were going to go with the Flashpoint storyline, which is basically him traveling to another multiverse. But, I mean, based on the trailer, based on at the end, we see a Batman that is...
A grizzled Keaton.
Michael Keaton. That is not a part of the Flashpoint storyline.
What do you mean?
The Flashpoint storyline is he goes to a different multiverse where Bruce Wayne is dead and Thomas Wayne is the Batman. Not only the Batman, but kind of like a Punisher style Batman.
Yeah,
What
real
if in this
dark,
one he goes
real
to
dark.
multiple multiverses?
See, I think they might pull that because there's been a lot of quick screenshots shown of this trailer, and it looks as though at one point you see Batfleck, Ben Affleck's Batman.
I was hoping it was Bale Fleck.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were hoping. But if you look at his cowl, his ears are very distinct, and that is the Batfleck cowl. I mean, who knows if it's actually going to be Batfleck.
What about Patterson Fleck?
I don't think he's going to be involved. I wish. I love a good Patty.
Vengeance.
It's too bad.
Vengeance.
Well, I'll say I'm looking forward to it. And I realized after that trailer, I like Ezra Miller
Wow.
as the Flash.
I don't.
Well, there you go. I think it's because he does come across as like a funny, kind of quirky actor.
Yeah.
And maybe my problem with him in Justice League was what he was offered was just awful.
Sure. Did you see the Snyder Cut, Zach?
I did see it.
I didn't see it. I mean,
All 4.5 hours.
Oh my
or
gosh.
something like
I think
that.
it's time. I think it's time for me to watch it.
yeah, I think we were both texting each other during the Super Bowl that it's time for us to see it.
It is significantly better than the original Justice
Interesting.
League. Yeah,
I hear Flash has like a much bigger part.
yeah, he does.
I do know that he has a moment where he goes back in time and solves a problem at the end,
Undoes some things.
which is like cheating, really.
It really is. His character is a cheat. I sent you guys a beautiful trailer for, not a trailer, but more of just a clip of one of the new episodes of The Flash on the CW.
I remember. Yes.
Looks bad.
Nice work, Team Flash.
You can't win, Flash. This is the end of everything.
Wait.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
It was rough, honestly, to watch.
Looks like they just keep going downhill with that. The first couple seasons of that show were actually very entertaining. And then I think at the end of season 3, they had him go back in time and undo everything that happened seasons 1 through 3. And it was just like, at that point, I gave up. Why would you do that to me?
Well, I don't know what it necessarily takes to run a show like that on a TV production budget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised they're trying.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't been shut down at this point. So what would you say, Zach, as far as Snyder Cut versus regular cut? What are the pros and cons? Which one is better? And I guess, are you familiar with all the DC stuff that's happening with James Gunn and what he's announced at this point?
No, I haven't been following Mr. Gunn's.
All right. I'm interested to see how he plays into it. But what do you think as far as Snyder Cut versus Justice League?
I think there's just a lot more action sequences in the Snyder Cut, which is what you want out of a superhero movie. I think it does a better job at bringing in all the characters. Like there's a lot more background to Cyborg and the Flash and all that,
Yeah.
which is nice to see because for a lot of people, they might not follow DC.
Yeah.
And they're just going to see a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It's nice to know the characters a little bit.
That's kind of what we've talked about in some of the other DC movies, like in Black Adam. It's like DC does not introduce their characters very well. It's like you're giving me the Justice Society without any context of
They
who
don't.
these
You
guys
could.
are.
It could be argued they don't introduce their characters at all,
No. And that's why they don't do it well.
with the exception of your Superman and Man of Steel.
Right. Which
Although,
is one of my favorite DC movies. Didn't crack the top 50 list, though, unfortunately,
I'm sorry.
from Rolling Stone.
It must not be very good.
I would disagree with that, but I'm excited. We already talked about, we've got another episode that dropped, our last episode, where we talk about how what James Gunn's doing is very intriguing, and I'm excited. And the way that they did a new Batman with Robert Pattinson, and it was successful, has me, I don't know, I guess receptive to whatever James Gunn is going to bring to the table. It's like, okay, if you can make another Batman with a guy that when you casted him, everybody was like, really? Robert Pattinson? This is going to suck. But then it didn't.
Did not suck.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of sucking?
Blowing.
Yeah.
It blew our minds is what it did.
Oh my gosh.
Way to bring it all together. Yeah, very good.
That was great.
Cool.
Well, I was going to say, realized, just remember now, I did watch something new, DC related, the other day. I watched the animated Injustice, Gods Among Us, which was an hour and 15 minutes.
Where did you watch it through? Was it a streaming?
I watched it on HBO Max.
Okay.
And it's a very, 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 very condensed version of the Injustice comic book storyline, featuring mostly Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, some Green Arrow, and a little bit of Damian. So, but that's a storyline that would be really interesting to get eventually. Definitely not the kind of thing I want them to work on right now. You know, I don't think it would be as meaningful if, like, oh, by the way, Superman's gone off the deep end.
That's kind of like an endgame scenario, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's hard to condense into an hour and 15 minutes.
pretty much. In fact, the way they kind of stop Superman in the end is a little rushed.
Yeah.
But
Isn't it Green Arrow shoots him?
no, Green Arrow bites the dust, tries to shoot him, and it doesn't work. And Superman's pissed, and he doesn't take no crap, especially not from Green Arrow.
Yeah.
What a
That's
chump.
actually a great synopsis of the Injustice storyline. It's just Superman's pissed.
perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
I would say so. So they are going to bring Damian Wayne into this new DC.
Okay.
The Batman movie is going to be Batman with Damian. And as I said in the last episode, Damian is just a king kite.
Yeah.
Right. I can't stand Damian. I don't know. Again, I trust James Gunn. I feel like he'll execute, but he's my least favorite Robin. I don't know about you.
I feel like the least favorite Robin should be the one that died.
But he comes back.
How?
Science.
Which one? The first one becomes Nightwing.
Right.
What is who becomes? Is it like Red Skull or
It's
Well, that's
Redhead or
that's the one who dies, right? That's
Yeah.
Tim Drake.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
a Red Hood?
No,
So-
it's Jason Todd.
So Jason Todd is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jason Todd doesn't die. He
Right.
just becomes a Red Hood guy.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know if like the Lazarus Pool was involved with that, with Ra's al Ghul bringing him back.
well,
I can't remember.
what happened to the third.
Tim Drake? That's a great question.
Is he Teen Titan Tim Drake? He's just chilling as the Robin.
Honestly, I can't really.
I don't remember what happens to Tim Drake.
No, I know that Nightwing eventually becomes Batman for a little bit.
Oh man.
Nightwing's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
He's the most legit.
Well, I'm excited then because you know what? It sounds like we don't know almost anything about the DC universe.
Yeah, not
And
nearly.
maybe in 5 years that will change.
You know what's interesting? I would say you rewind it 12 years ago. I knew more about DC than I knew about Marvel. I didn't know who Thor was. I knew very little about Iron Man. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy, forget about it. Like, there's just so many characters that I knew zero about, where I knew about almost all of the DC characters. Now it's been completely flipped, where because of what the MCU has done, I'm just so entrenched in all Marvel things. And yeah, you asked me what happened to Tim Drake. I'm not going to have an answer. So, Teezy, what are some of the aspects of what Marvel is doing right now in Phase 4 and what's leading into this Kang Dynasty stuff? What are some of the movies that they've just released that you liked, that you didn't like? What are your predictions on what's going to happen? And yeah, what do you think is going to go down?
So where did the last phase end? What was the last movie that came out?
Pretty much, right?
What is the last Marvel?
Is No Way Home
Black Hat.
part of that?
Are we
or-
talking about Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Okay.
I
Marvel?
switched gears.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Gosh, I mean, Wakanda Forever.
With them now?
I was going to say the last one is Wakanda Forever.
Right.
Okay.
And now we have Ant-Man. Well, technically, the last is Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
I enjoyed Wakanda Forever. It's definitely not my favorite Marvel movie. I think it's a hard movie to make because so much of it was built around, Black Panther's dead now.
Right.
So a lot of it had like a mournful and sorrowful theme to it. But it was also like the villain I thought was great at first. And then it just like took a weird turn because it's like, I want to work with you guys. And yeah, we should,
Right.
I got Wakanda underwater and you got the land. We should come together.
Right.
And then she beats him at the end and is like, you're a villain. I'm beating you. You're done.
Right.
And then they have like a agreement to part ways or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's still, you get that little clip at the end where he's still like,
he's still a threat.
He's still a threat.
Yeah. So
I was like, you know what? She should have just ended the guy.
Probably.
Well, that would have been messed up, wouldn't it? You won't be able to see any more Namor.
I guess, yeah.
Namor would have been no more.
Oh, Sean with the puns with a Wakanda reference. That's your specialty.
What kind of movie was that?
Oh, man.
I guess that was the ethical choice she had. Was it, am I going to be a Killmonger Black Panther or am I going to be my brother Black Panther?
Right. Yeah. So moral choices.
But overall, it was a good movie. It was an MCU movie. Most of them are pretty decent. Worth seeing.
They usually do pretty good. Usually, until they don't. But did you see Avatar: Way of Water?
I did not.
Good job.
Okay.
Not because you shouldn't see it, but I just feel like waiting until like the box office sales stop getting counted, because I don't want James Gunn to take the lead on anything. Very good movie. And what we said is, you watch Way of Water after watching Wakanda Forever, and they're just two completely different ends of the spectrum in terms of how they portrayed the water worlds. And Way of Water is so much better at like giving you in-depth detail and like unique creatures and all that stuff. Whereas the scene in Wakanda Forever, she's floating through his town for like 3 minutes and it's murky and you can barely see what's going on. And it's just like Way of Water did it the complete opposite, and they totally immerse you into this water world. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Avatar kind of made MCU look like amateurs when it came to that. But
and take the shot, Mickey.
I mean, when you spend 12 years putting a world together, you got plenty of time. Ain't that right, Yamez?
I feel like if you spent 12 years making a movie, it better be good.
Yeah, it was good. I hate James Cameron with a passion, personally. Me and him have beef. He doesn't know I exist.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was a really good movie.
Just picture James Cameron like wincing randomly right now and he doesn't know why.
Oh, that 99 Nerds podcast.
That one guy.
They gave me props, but God, they hate me. I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody.
Sorry, Jim.
Jim. Yep. Okay, so what are the things that you have been watching lately that you want to come on here and talk to us about, Teezy?
That's a great question. I haven't been into shows that much lately, to be honest. I mean, I'm keeping up with Last of Us right now.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Did you play the game?
I have played the game. I did not finish it.
Okay.
And I haven't played the second game.
You never finished the first Last of Us?
No, I haven't.
Did you ever finish or play the second one?
No.
Really?
What's the second one called? The Last of Us
Part 2.
More.
Yes, the more of us.
The more Last of Us.
Yeah.
There's a few of us left.
Yeah.
Great games. I mean, it had a great story or plot. I honestly don't know the reason I never finished it.
Very cinematic games.
Yeah.
More story than game, really.
I personally have not played them, and I have not seen the show yet. What streaming platform is the show on?
HBO.
See, there it is. I got to get HBO because James Gunn basically has said anything that's not a movie is going to be on HBO.
Oh.
HBO is just DC Central, whereas Disney Plus is kind of Marvel Central, obviously. So I need to get HBO because I'm out of the loop. And then you got Din Djarin running around now with some girl.
Din Djarin?
Yeah.
Who's Din Djarin?
Mandalorian.
What are you talking about?
What are you?
What are you talking about?
Are you 33, nerd?
What are you talking about? Like the new trailer or something like that?
No. He's in Last of Us.
Oh. Well, you don't call him Din Djarin. You don't call him by his name in the show.
Do you
call him by the actor's name?
Do you call him Baby Grogu? Or wait, Baby Yoda? Or do you call him Grogu?
Listen, man.
See, even my 5-year-old son has that
I can't keep track
straight.
of all your references. You're too witty and wily for me lately.
My 5-year-old son has friends who are like, "Oh yeah, I got this shirt that is Baby Yoda," and he's like,
punches him in the face.
His name is Grogu.
Don't shoot. Where is it?
Don't you dare say his name.
Right.
Yeah, we got a Grogu Lego set. Stands about yay tall, and it took us 15 months to finish it.
Right
Not
on.
because it was difficult, we just kept putting it off, but we finally finished it recently.
Knocking it over.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So
anyway, Last of Us.
That guy's a fantastic actor. I think he fills the role of Joel really well.
I think he fills any role really well.
Yeah.
He's got range, that guy.
Did you ever watch him in the Nicolas Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Talent?
But then we will both die, and I could never live with myself after that, so you let go! You let go!
No, that is one movie I wanted to see, though.
That movie's wild.
I got some positive reviews.
He's really good in that. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Javi? Buddy. Hey. Where'd you come from? Oh.
Pedro. Vote for Pedro.
They should get Pedro Pascal and Diego Luna in a movie together.
I don't know who that is.
Diego Luna played Andor.
Oh my god. Yeah. Or they shouldn't have them. No, they couldn't have them meet up. Because of the death part. Have you seen it? Did you catch up on Andor?
Yeah, I finished Andor.
Dude, Andor's good.
You know what? It took about 5 or 6 episodes to get good.
Yeah.
But then when it got rolling, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
The prison episodes were so well done.
Yeah, they're good.
It's kind of cool to see what they were doing in Andor. They're kind of doing in Bad Batch too, where you just see how I described it as like the Empire has a ratchet strap around the galaxy and they're just slowly tightening it and just cranking on it. And you're seeing
It's all coming together.
You're seeing these worlds getting squeezed by the Empire, and the Empire's just taking things a little further, and they're getting a little more power hungry. And to see kind of the fallout of that whole prison scene was not seen. The whole episode's arc.
And I shall die as one of them.
Was very well done.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
So what is it about Last of Us that sucks you in, and why should I watch it?
It's just a great dramatic show. Like,
it's zombies, right?
It's essentially zombies. I don't know.
But it's very grounded. It's grounded in a lot more like natural, realistic science.
Okay. I saw a funny tweet that basically said the outbreak in that show peaks in like June of 2003.
Sure.
Which then they said, which means none of these characters got to see Star Wars Episode 3 hit theaters, and they never saw the conclusion of the prequels.
Ooh, what a loss to humanity that was.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
But it's
June 2003. They didn't get to see the Return of the King either.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably the worst year to have an apocalyptic scenario happen to the world.
2004 is a much better year for it to happen.
I'm sorry for 2004.
Why?
Because of that song.
Which one?
Sorry for 2004.
So anyway, with The Last of Us, I was a little hesitant about the casting of Ellie in particular. I can't remember the actress's name, but she plays what's her name?
I have no idea what the actress name is.
She was in Game of Thrones as something Mormont.
She's Mormont, yeah. The
tough as nails, Lady Mormont. That's it. That's the one. But the show is actually, like Zach said, it's very well written. It's genuinely kind of like creepy at times. It paces itself well, but to be fair, much more so than most shows, it's so heavily adapted from the game. Like I said, the game is so much more cutscene than game at times, so they'll have dialogue lifted straight out of the game. And production design, like the sets and the way scenes play out, is a carbon copy right out of the game.
Interesting. That's cool. They're taking it straight from.
So I am curious how somebody might appreciate it if they've never actually played the game at all.
Yeah, I think it's enjoyable without the game knowledge. I don't know what it is about like post-apocalyptic shows, or like you have shows like The Walking Dead. Or
how does it compare to The Walking Dead?
I think it's better.
Okay.
That could change.
Oh my god!
I actually never finished The Walking Dead though. So
me neither, dude.
I think I got into season 7 and then.
Yep, me
broke
too.
It off.
What was the episode that broke you?
the last thing I remember watching that show is they're fighting with Negan's group, and Walker's overrun Negan's compound, and the priest Gabriel, I think his name was, he like ends up locked in a trailer, and Negan just happened to get into that trailer too. And then I remember like the end of the episode ended, I was just like, I don't care what happens to these people anymore. Like,
for me, it was an episode where they get into a skirmish with Negan's group, and I just remember scene after scene, they kept cutting back to them, like just like crouching behind cars and barricades, and then like just shooting randomly at the other side. And this went on for an hour. It was like they literally had nothing to do. They show up on set and they was just like, shoot each other, and we'll just edit it together for an hour.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, the Negan episode that ruined everybody's lives was when I said no more. That was television that I was not ready for. I don't think the world was ready for, and I said no more of this. I've got a family member who recently got into Walking Dead, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so interesting." They were like in the, I think they just got to the prison, so it's like beginning of season 3.
Sure.
And they're like, yeah, the mom just went into labor, and I'm like,
oh no.
Oh. They're like, yeah, and then there were like these guys still at the prison, and they were like gonna like talk to them, and I'm like, there's this guy with like an eye patch. The governor, has he shown up yet? They're like, no. I'm like, oh man, it just brings back all these memories of that show, and it's not.
Yeah, it's
something I want to think through again.
Honestly, the Governor Herschel scene.
Yeah,
that's where it's like, whoa, this show's dark.
Yeah,
dude.
It takes it. The Herschel governor scene is like an 8 out of 10. Like, oof, this is rough for television. And then they just keep going higher and higher. And then they go to Terminus, where there's a bunch of freaking cannibals.
Oh man,
it just keeps getting worse. And that's when I said,
you're either
more.
the cattle or the butcher. Is that what they say?
Basically.
It's true. I mean, that's how I live my life.
I can't handle those types of shows. So how does it compare to that? Is it like horror genre, suspense, thriller?
I would say it's more, they get more creepy in horror genre.
Yikes.
Like, I mean, you see so much of it in The Walking Dead where they're fighting these walkers,
right?
That you almost get like used to them fighting them.
Right.
Like, it's not even scary anymore. It's just like, oh, you just got to be a little faster. You just got to get a little higher than them.
Right.
The zombies, I guess we'll call them, in The Last of Us, they're terrifying.
Infected.
And they're fast. They're
fast zombies. The kind that like
good.
the kind that run
That's
after
the
you.
worst kind of zombie.
What's that movie with is it Brad Pitt?
World War Z?
Yeah.
Where they just like swarm.
They just tower. They take down helicopters.
Yeah.
It's funny because that actually is a really creative idea for doing zombies like that.
Yeah.
And then there was that game that did something like that. Oh, what was it called? It was on the PlayStation, and it was Days Gone, I think. And it tried to utilize that same effect with zombies, like they swarm in mass, and they almost like they form waves to like get up on top of a building at you and stuff.
Yikes.
Or they like splash through a door, and like they'll have like zombies just explode out of the pit.
Yeah. I feel like that show, the only thing it suffers from, it's got a very strong fan base because of the video game, but the only thing it suffers from is people on the outside who have not played the game are just saying, really, another zombie show? You know? I mean, how many of those mobile game advertisements do you get where it's like those zombie apocalypse survival games where you dig down and you create a farm system underground, or you, what's that stupid game where you run through and it's like, add 10,000 years to your guy.
I see that all the time, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Or like advance your weapon this far. Yeah.
Multiply your crew by 10. Subtract your crew by 5. Which one should I do?
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's all just clickbait.
Well, the best is when you read the comments on those.
They get me every time.
Every time.
Well, the best is you read the comments on those and people are like, yeah, I downloaded this game. It's nothing like the ad.
Yeah.
Why would somebody do that?
Yeah.
Why would you fake out somebody with an ad? Just show the game.
Yeah.
Or then nowadays they'll do a thing where it's a puzzle game, and for the promo they have the stupidest person alive playing the game.
That's why people do it, because you watch it and then like the last
I could beat that.
the last
I'm
5
smarter
seconds
than
of the
this
clip,
guy.
there's a clear choice and they pick the wrong one. You're like, I can do that better.
Right.
Download.
Right.
I'll show them.
It's the most brilliant marketing strategy.
That's kind of like what we do with this podcast. We just talk about stuff we don't know what we're saying.
Yep.
Everything is just baiting people to comment.
Yeah.
That guy Sean doesn't know what he's talking about.
Joke's on you. I do. I just want to hear you say it.
Yeah, we've got a strategy. It's been working really well for us so far.
I believe.
So yeah, Last of Us.
Well, what do you think is a reason I've been wanting to ask? Why do you think zombie media is so popular? Why do you think we keep coming back to it?
I don't know.
I think it's just like one of those things you can watch it and escape from reality and be like, at least we're not dealing with that right now.
Oh man.
Sure.
Like at least life's not as bad as that could be. You know.
So the government is funding these projects to distract us.
100%.
Dang. You're so right. A part of me wonders if there's like a weird wish fulfillment in it. Like, if the world if the world ground to a halt, I'd be a survivor.
Right.
You know, I've got what it takes to be one of the few that makes it. And you kind of like watching a show where you could see yourself or somebody you know who makes it.
Right.
Like, there's a priest. Shouldn't normally make it because he's too compassionate. That would work against him. But, this priest happens to be a total coward and he locked people out of his church and that's how he survived so long because he hoarded everything himself and he lives with this constant shame and guilt.
Right.
It's also kind of like, remember what were the games? The Left 4 Dead games? Remember those?
Oh, so good.
Those were like,
I love those games.
I don't know how they did it, but they just so brilliantly, they only have like 4 characters, right?
Yeah.
And they so brilliantly made like the perfect archetype characters. It's, you got a football coach. It's like, yes, of course, he would be the one. And then you got like a sleazy used car salesman. It's like, yes, of course, he'd survive. And then you got like, in Left 4 Dead 1, it was like, what was Bill was the old army,
old man,
old army vet.
He's like one of those disaster preppers.
Yeah, so you're like, of course, yes, he would make it.
He's got just gallons of his own urine stored away.
Yeah, that's how you make, in case you need to make formaldehyde or whatever, right?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue why you'd store your urine.
But I've been keeping it for a while.
But ever since urine,
I never knew what the next step was.
Step 1, collect.
Well, yeah, I think that like we all think that, I would survive. But honestly, like unless you have a lot of like gasoline stored away and a lot of food stored away, like you're going to have to venture out of your house. And it's going to get bad.
Well, I thought that was cool. They covered that in The Last of Us where, how would you have a car battery that would last that long? So everybody's looking for car batteries. Right. And they eventually come across one, but it's like, here's a guy who has batteries, like the parts and the pieces prepared. So you have to like mix the chemical. You have to actually make the battery, but the stuff is ready for you to do that. Or same with like fuel. You know, gasoline in a car is going to like separate and get bad over years. So they know how to get fuel out of a car, but they comment of like it's so poorly conditioned at that point. You only get like a few miles to a gallon and we got to keep stopping it and getting more. And so I kind of like that. I think that's maybe another reason people like zombie material, because it kind of like brings everything down to like this primitive lifestyle. Like how able are you to adapt without all the things in your life that you rely on?
Sure.
And there's like this embodiment of strength in that. Like, I'd be able to figure it out. And
sure,
I know how to build a fire. But then it's like, but you fool, you idiot. Don't build a fire. The smoke will give you away.
Yeah, exactly. I've got like camping skills.
Burn your pee.
Burn your pee.
Yeah, it burns well. Oh my God, I have a fire hazard in my basement.
Bear Grylls. Sun's going down. Time to,
So Sean, you had a pack in your pocket.
Yeah,
you were gonna open it live on stream.
Yeah, but didn't I say it was only when you guys really upset me and hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
Well, don't.
You suck.
Dang it.
When's your birthday again, Sean?
It is a couple days after we see Ant-Man.
Oh, I was thinking it was on Ant-Man, but that's right.
We can celebrate. You can wish me a happy birthday if you want.
We won't.
All right, cool.
Next week, maybe. Next week for the pod.
When's your birthday? Any day now?
Any day now. Down the road.
It's usually right before Thanksgiving.
Usually.
So people get distracted and they don't make as big of a deal of it as they should.
Yeah. Actually, mathematically, it's always before Thanksgiving. It can never be on or after.
Well, whose fault is that?
The calendar.
The Gregorians. Well, Teezy's is usually right around the time school gets back and people get back in
Labor
school.
Day.
Yeah, and then everybody's all, oh, it's your birthday? Well, I have to get to class.
I have to get my binders together.
Yeah. I have to change my Spanish class because I don't like the teacher.
I have to sharpen one of my 128 Crayola crayons. You peasant with only a 24 pack. You absolute idiot.
Loser. You useless failure.
What else were we going to talk about, Sean?
Besides birthdays?
Did you watch Rings of Power?
No, I think I got 4 episodes in.
Gotcha.
And then I was kind of waiting for it to finish out.
What's tough is like, okay, so Bad Batch is rolling right now. It's so easy to watch a 24-minute episode of Bad Batch.
Right.
I see that there is a 59-minute episode of Andor or Rings of Power or whatever, and it's just like, I finally powered through Andor, and I'm so glad I did. And I know that it'll be like that with Rings of Power. I want to watch it. I just know I've got 8 hours of footage in front of me.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
And I don't have 8 hours of
It's a lot of content.
Yeah. Sean, you liked it though.
I did like it.
But you didn't love it?
I liked it. Well, I loved parts of it. I loved it for the reasons that other people found it annoying in a weird way.
What?
Which would be like some aspects of it are so whimsical.
Yeah.
Like some of the accents are flamboyant and hyperbolic, and some of the performances are so goofy.
Yeah.
But I like that stuff. I like when
nobody else does
in the Lord of the Rings, when there's moments where it's very serious and dark and heavy, but then there's moments where it's Merry and Pippin just having this ridiculously goofy conversation about food and smoking and
that's true,
whatever. And I think those elements are fun, and I miss that stuff. And so when the Rings of Power would do that, I loved it. In fact, what maybe took away from it at times is when it took itself too seriously, especially with Galadriel's character.
Uh-oh.
She just doesn't ever chill. Remember?
That's right. You said that.
Zero chill.
Yeah. She just is like never happy. I don't think she smiles in the whole show.
Uh-oh.
She probably does.
So
montage right here.
She's like Captain Marvel then. She just never smiles. And
Brie Larson was happy in her movie. Remember? She was on the bus and she smiled at Stan Lee.
Right. And then she punched that old lady.
I thought you were about to say she punched him.
No, she smiled at him.
Yeah.
And then she decked that 9-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
because that's what heroes do.
That's what heroes do. Well, Rings of Power was okay. I enjoyed it.
All right.
But hey, we've talked about like, hey, we're trying to be positive, right?
Right.
I'm trying to stop being such a poo-pooer. So you know what? I'm excited about The Flash.
Okay.
I liked Rings of Power.
You know what's cool about The Flash? They showed his suit and his ring. Did they do that in Snyder Cut?
Wait, he has a ring?
I don't remember it, so I don't think so.
In the comics and in like
he stores it in his ring. Yeah.
He stores what in his ring?
His suit.
His Flash suit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm interested to see how they explain it.
It would be all wrinkly.
Sure would be. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but yeah.
What happens when he sweats in it? And then like it goes back in the ring?
It's a really good question. I mean, the physics behind that would be tough.
Why can't I don't want to have to ask or have the question answered. How do you get your super suit on and off?
Right.
I don't want to think about it.
Well, he's so fast. You'll never know.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. It shouldn't be complicated.
How is it in his ring? He's so fast.
He runs home real quick and he gets it and he puts it on and he comes back.
It doesn't make sense, but it's really cool.
Like the Green Lantern, I thought like you can tell me he stores his suit in his ring because everything's in his ring.
Right. But yeah, the Flash is. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Maybe it's like an interesting metaphor for marriage.
Maybe. Oh, we didn't even. I'm sorry. You can finish that thought.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not married. You're married, and I was thinking you were about to take off on that.
Weird metaphor for marriage. No, it isn't.
Okay.
So one thing that they did show in that trailer is Supergirl and Zodd.
No. We broke his neck.
Apparently not.
He shouldn't be dead.
This is a multiverse where Zodd apparently attacks Supergirl instead of Superman, and maybe she's not.
Unsnaps his neck.
How did that happen? Flash is so fast.
I saw a really good commercial. It wasn't. I don't think it was the Super Bowl. No, it was a commercial for some like a crepes pastry shop. In fact, I kept thinking about your business when they were doing it. It was a girl came up to the counter and she says, "Oh, I'm full. I can't finish these. Would you like to take them back?" And she's like, "Oh, sure." She took them back over the counter. And they basically had this person narrate over the commercial how their staff will put all the ingredients back. But really what they were doing was they were taking a video of them assembling this little pastry and just playing it in reverse. And like, "Oh, we put the bananas back in the container. We put the strawberries back, and we put the glaze back in the specialized bottle."
I don't think that the health department would have any issue with that.
Well, no, of course not. Why should they? It's saving the environment.
I guess.
So that's what I think of the
cheerleader. Save the planet.
Hopefully the Flash has a scene where he has to eat in reverse.
Maybe.
But question.
Bring it.
Supergirl? Is that Supergirl or is it Superwoman?
You know what, Sean?
Or is there no Superwoman and I'm having a Mandela effect?
I don't think there's been a reference to a Superwoman in all of DC.
Well, but this girl in the trailer has dark hair and almost looks like just the young lady version of Clark Kent, maybe from another universe.
So there's a show, Supergirl,
right,
on CW,
right,
and she's like blonde, and I think that's like the niece.
And they have they announced another. Right. They announced the Supergirl movies that they're going to do. James Gunn wants to do
right.
What is it called? Edge of Tomorrow or Tomorrow Never Dies? Or
but kind of like with Multiverse of Madness, I mean, they could just introduce somebody.
They literally could do whatever they want.
That's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
Like John Krasinski, our boy.
How convenient.
Who is not coming back as Mr. Fantastic. They could just...
Well, not with that attitude.
They could just try something.
Do you think...
He'll come back as...
Do you think this mystery Superwoman will have pretty much the same airtime as John Krasinski did in that movie?
I hope she has more.
Where she's in it for like 5 minutes and then just gets wrecked by
Zodd. Snaps her neck.
Oh, man.
Then what? Then Flash just runs out of there.
There's a multiverse where Zodd is just constantly getting his neck snapped, no matter what.
Yeah, it's his. What's that? I don't even know what movie. Oh, it's actually from those. Gosh, it's from the Marvel What Ifs, where Doctor Strange. It's like a point in time that cannot be changed, no matter what.
Oh yeah, it was his girlfriend dying
in
a car crash.
It's like no matter what, this has to happen. No matter what, Zodd has to have his neck snapped.
It's like a clinch point.
Yeah.
For time and space. Everything hinges on it.
It'll be Barry's tell of when he needs to leave that multiverse and go to a different one.
It's like in
Zodd.
It's like in Inception how he has the little.
The spinning
dreidel, yeah. He has the dreidel or whatever, and the little top, and he knows it's his top because the way it spins, it's like, oh, thank God, I'm back to the point where Zodd gets his neck snapped. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I thought that was a cute moment in the trailer when he was taking a picture of her on the plane, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, Sark, we can tell our kids about it one day." I was like, "Oh." How empathetic for a character to have a crush on another person and for you to be rooting for him, even though you don't know the guy that well.
And don't really root for him overall.
I'll wait until I see the movie.
That's really mature of you, Sean.
For now. Wait until the movie comes out and I'll rip it to shreds if I have to.
Do you have any predictions for the Ant-Man movie that we are seeing this week?
I honestly don't. I did not follow the Secret War timeline as much in the comics, so I have no idea what happens there. I think we'll definitely see a major character death at some point in the movie. It probably won't be Ant-Man, but maybe like who's the Wasp, his girlfriend, or
Evangeline Lilly.
Do you think she'll get eaten by the Blob like she did in the comics?
Is that what happens?
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't know that happened in the comics.
The Blob eats her.
Freaking spoiler alert, dude.
The Blob has
That's how they bring in the X-Men.
Oh my gosh. It's just this morbidly massive guy suddenly starts eating the Wasp. And they're like, first of all, don't. Second of all, who are you? Where are you from? And then they played the X-Men theme.
And then the theater just goes nuts.
While puking.
Is there a pretty big crossover with Shang-Chi? Is that why you guys want to watch the movie before?
According to Sean,
There is some allusion in the trailer. There's these rotating rings around the city, and that is a very similar thing they show on the end credit scene from Shang-Chi.
that and David said Shang-Chi was just good.
It was a very good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the Shang-Chi thing, it's not like I don't want to spoil it. I just don't necessarily want to go get into describing it. But they set up something in their end credits that they've really not touched on at all since. And my theory is it's got to be Ant-Man where the next piece of that gets going.
There's been a lot of screenshots I've seen of
MODOK.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. And it is the same actor who was the villain in Ant-Man 1. And they were saying how, excuse me, they were saying how the whole movie they're harping on how important the helmet is. It's like, if you're going to shrink down, you better make sure you got your helmet on. Ant-Man and then also the Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
And in the last scene, when Scott is fighting him, he breaks his helmet eye.
You're not supposed to do that.
And then he shrinks him down.
Jerk.
So they're saying that might be why
that's why his head goes big.
his head is still massive.
No.
Because it got all messed up because his helmet was broke.
Oh, no.
So
You've made your villain, Ant-Man. Now you got to lie in it.
that's a better villain origin than anything of Iron Man's villains. It was just Iron Man's villains were just a series of guys that
I'm a guy in jail. Also, I can build like weird laser whips.
Well, there was that, and the other two guys were just guys that he insulted a long time ago, and
they wouldn't let it go.
They never let it go.
Yeah.
Like what's his name in Spider-Man: Far From Home? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio.
His
origin story is that he made this really advanced technology and Tony Stark made a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's sad.
yeah, it's sad. So let's commit terrorist acts across the world.
There's a scene in Avengers where one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives in the giant ship is playing Galaga, and Tony Stark calls him out. He's like, "You got that guy in the corner playing Galaga." And everybody's like, oh, the new villain.
The origin story.
He called him out. Now he's going to be the next guy. Whoever that actor is, figure it out.
Every line of dialogue matters.
I wonder if Mysterio could have been prevented in that movie if he just had a booster pack to open when Tony Stark ruined his life.
Honestly, I feel like we could all benefit from that whenever we get upset or have our feelings hurt.
Sean, have you had your feelings hurt yet?
No, I'm having such a great time hanging out with you guys.
We got to be mean or Austin.
Listen here, you son of a gun. I can't be mean to you, Sean.
Princess of Alderaan.
You're 33 of the 99 nerds, darn it.
No, I'll be 32 this week.
If David was here, though, he'd be.
You know what I'm excited about for Ant-Man and also for the Flash movie is like, I don't know anything about the quantum realm.
Right.
And like in the MCU, most people don't.
Right.
Like, anything could happen in the
Including the
quantum realm.
writers, arguably.
So like they could take this movie in so many different directions with the plot.
I mean,
that's exciting.
That is exciting. How many movies have there been now? Like 30 something? We have not even dove into this at all, other than the very brief little tidbit they talked about it in the last Ant-Man movie. You're absolutely right. This is like completely uncharted territory, which at this point is hard for MCU. Like what is there left after the quantum realm? Who are they going to introduce, John? Who's going to die?
Oh, I was about to say like Jesus, but it'd be okay that he dies because it's like, yeah,
right,
for our sins. The only thing that's going to be a hang up for me in the movie is the recasting of his daughter.
Yeah, you were upset about that.
It makes me sad. Like the idea of this actress was like blindsided that she didn't get recast, and she found out like the hard way that she wasn't going to be. So here's what I hope happens. Here's my prediction for Ant-Man: Quantumania. Opening credit. No. Before the Marvel credits even start.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a hard open, okay? It's going to be a cold open. It's going to be a scene of somebody with a MacGuffin in their hand, okay? Or tucked underneath their arm, and they're sprinting for all their might, and they're jumping over all these weird platforms, and the camera pulls out, and they're in the quantum realm.
Of course.
And then they come to a crossroads, and they don't know which way to go. They go left, they go right, they take the right, and then they're running, and they think they've escaped, and then boom, pow, 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 pow. And then they're like dust. They're a smoldering pile of dust. And then you see these like boots walk into frame, and then you hear a voiceover saying, "Suck it, noob," or something like that.
Get wrecked.
It's Master Chief.
And then hard cut to Scott playing Xbox with his daughter. And you thought it was the villain who said it, but it was Scott who said it.
Oh, it is Master Chief. He's playing Halo.
Yeah, he's playing Halo Infinite. It's like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Man, what's his daughter's name?"
I don't know.
Cassie.
Like, "Man, Cassie, Halo Infinite sure is a great game, don't you think?" And then Cassie says, "Dad, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. I just want to say I'm sorry." He goes, "For what, Cassie?" And she says, "I'm sorry. I'm just not the daughter that you have always wanted." And then she like looks at the camera for like a solid 3 seconds, and then Scott says something like, "Cassie, you might not be the daughter I wanted, but I love you no matter what." And she goes, "Oh yeah, Dad, by the way, we got to be at Grandpa's house soon," or something. Actually, they're not. It's not her actual grandparents. No, the wasp comes in.
Right.
Falling apart.
The wasp comes in. And
We can edit all of this.
she comes in and she says, "You guys, we got to meet my parents for dinner."
Yeah.
Right away. And then Cassie says, "Oh, I got a surprise for him." And then it's only been like literally 70 seconds of the movie so far. Okay. This has all happened.
Yeah.
And then jump cut to them at dinner, and they're eating and they're finishing. And again, more like topical humor. Ha ha ha.
Right.
Marvel jokes. And then Cassie's like, "Wait, by the way, I have this fun little device I built. I want to show it off." And they go to the basement, and she's like, "It'll access the quantum realm." And then the grandma tries to shoot her and says, "Don't do it." and then like Scott Lang grabs the gun and he wrestles the old lady to the ground.
Right.
And while that's happening, Cassie uses the device and it sucks her into the quantum realm, and there's a scuffle, and then they all get sucked into the quantum realm, and then Marvel credits.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, that's how the movie's gonna start.
Yeah, that's a solid opening.
Oh, like the opening credits.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the end credits.
I wish.
It's a 3-minute movie.
Super bold.
And at the end it says, "Kang will return."
It's breaking new ground.
Speaking of Kang, do you know who the actor is?
Who plays Kang?
Yeah.
I don't know him personally.
Oh, that's not what I was asking.
He's a gentleman.
I can't remember his name, but he's in the Creed movie too. Have you seen the Creed movies?
Yeah, he's blowing up, that guy.
Dude, that trailer
he's pretty
looks
solid.
Sick. And he got yoked for that movie, which I didn't know he was in the Creed movie, and David was sending me pictures of him. It's like, dude, this guy's getting jacked to be Kang. What's he gonna do in this movie? He wasn't getting jacked to be Kang. He was getting jacked to be a boxer in Creed 3.
I feel like he could still be Jack to be Kang.
I mean, I hope so. Do you think he's gonna break Ant-Man's back? Bane style?
No. He's gonna crush his thorax.
Just like an ant has.
Yeah. Or he's gonna crush his daughter.
Cassie.
But like not like physically, but like his his daughter's gonna have a crush on Kang because he's like this really good looking guy, and she's teenager.
Classic.
And then he's gonna like shut her down and like really crush her feelings.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
That hurts more sometimes.
Yeah, it's probably worse.
Or he goes for the thorax, like you said.
Do you guys think that this movie will have anything relevant at all in it happening until like the last 10 minutes?
No, I don't know. I feel like
because I would like honestly I would think no, of course not. It's a whole movie. A whole movie is gonna have something important happening. But then we watched Thor: Love and Thunder,
right?
And
yeah,
it kind of didn't matter until like the last 10 minutes.
Taika Waititi Tutu Wakaka is not involved in this project. And from what I understand, the people who know about the comics, which I know some, but not as much as, those 100 nerds out there. I'm just a 99 nerd. They are pumped about this movie. They say this movie is like super pivotal. The whole quantum realm storyline and what Ant-Man does. Ant-Man is like extremely crucial in what happens moving forward.
Is this the start of Phase 5 or the end of Phase 4?
That's a great question.
Is this like a Hinge film where everything changes?
This is the start of Phase 5.
Oh man,
I think you might be right.
then what was Phase 4?
It was just nothing but She-Hulk. You were correct. This is the beginning of Phase 5.
There it is.
Next is Secret Invasion and Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know what I would love to see? It's probably not going to be in there. Maybe an end credit scene is I would love to see Deadpool pop up at the end of Ant-Man.
Sean had read that there is somebody that comes into this movie that's going to blow everybody's mind. Don't know what that means. Don't know who it'll be.
I thought it was Dave who said that.
Yeah.
Hate to fact check.
Because we know at this point,
It's wrong.
we know at this point, Deadpool's got a third movie coming out,
Correct.
and it's going to be tied in with the MCU.
Right.
We also
Logan.
we also know.
I don't know if they've started filming that though.
We know Wolverine is going to be in that movie.
Correct.
Which means the X-Men are going to be tied in to the MCU.
Yeah.
So at some point in this Phase 5, I feel like we're going to get an end credit scene that is like, hey, here it comes.
Right. You know what? I'm going to do something. Sean,
I'll tell you exactly who's going to be the secret character in Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Okay.
Are you ready? You looking at me? Ready? It's Captain Marvel. Watch. It's the thumbnail right there.
Dude, what if it's Black Widow?
No.
Like what if when people
I just got over her.
What if when people get thrown into the Soul Stone, they just go in the quantum realm?
Oh, dude, that's a great
Dang.
theory.
So the Soul Stone's not even really like a Soul Stone. It's just a gimmick.
Because in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer dropped as well.
A new one.
We see Gamora's back in it.
Naturally.
Gamora? I don't know her name. The green girl that he loves. She's alive again. And she was donated to the Soul Stone.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
They got to clean that up. I don't understand how they're going to tie all that.
What are you talking about? It's her from a different timeline.
Right. It's her from a different timeline without the memories.
Yeah.
Right. So
So he's got to win her back over. So it's like a love story.
They timeline jump?
No. Remember in Endgame?
Oh,
There was a different timeline Thanos,
right.
and she was part of that crew who came over. And
Yeah.
so,
So they just snatched her out of that and made her part of the crew again, I guess.
yeah. So that means that in the current timeline, this new Gamora from the past is going to unite with this Guardians of the Galaxy team, which means the Guardians of the Galaxy team from her timeline is just like,
They're all dead now.
yeah, they're just all screwed. They're just
without
all,
her, they
they
die.
all lucked out. And, that Chris, that Chris Pratt is going to be lonely forever.
dang.
Yeah.
I've just been looking. So with Quantumania, not Quantumanium, Quantumania is the lead off for this phase. I was looking back and seeing like what was the start of Phase 4? What was the start of Phase 3? What was the start of Phase 2? So Phase 1 was Iron Man. Phase 2, the beginning was Iron Man 3. The beginning of Phase 3 was Civil War. The beginning of Phase 4 was Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that was like when they launched their Disney Plus stuff. But normally the movies that launch and lead a phase are bangers. So we'll see how banging this bad boy is.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to banging, what do you think it'll be?
Explosive.
Dang. I was thinking like a 7.
I actually really enjoy the Ant-Man movies.
They're funny.
I think Paul Rudd's hilarious.
Yeah.
And like just the character in itself is like very happy-go-lucky and
For sure.
sarcastic. They're feel-good movies.
Yeah.
But like not too far like Love and Thunder was.
Right.
They still like do the plot really well and you can just laugh throughout the
There's a
movie.
great blend of humor and seriousness.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie is going to be a little bit of humor sprinkled in, but a whole lot of...
There's gonna be a lot of seriousness. That's why I think there's gonna be a major character death at some point.
Yeah.
Are we still? What are you
It's
guys,
probably gonna be Hank.
Are you
Pym,
guys
honestly.
still talking about Marvel?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not anymore. So what do you have, Sean?
I got, let's see if this camera will catch it. I got, without a doubt, it'll get there.
Are you about to gather my magic?
There it is. I got one rare. It's not that good.
So that sucks.
Yeah. You're terrible at opening packs. Open another.
Yeah, I'm going to need to open another pack to make myself feel better from that first pack.
What's the strategy? Where's the rare one usually at?
In your heart.
Isn't it like the third from the bottom?
From the back, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to go through the...
I got sucked into it.
You got to go through the commons and uncommons too, because sometimes those are worth a little bit. I already got this one. God dang. So. Oh my gosh. I got this. I have this. I already got this one too.
Dang. I'm sorry, Sean.
Look.
As someone who knows nothing about it.
Find, capture.
I got sucked into a rabbit hole watching some guy do Pokemon card openings, and I learned very quickly that third from the back. All right, let's flip it, boom, boom, to make this dramatic. Like, I watched like 20 videos in a row of this guy, and of course the titles are all like, the one where we finally pulled it. We pulled it, guys. $500,000. Like, oh, I gotta watch this 37-minute video. I could skip to the back, but that would totally ruin the build-up.
I don't know why, but maybe it's the hype around it, but I've also watched quite a few of those videos.
Have you seen the one guy that does them? I don't even know his name, but he's got a lot of followers on YouTube.
That was a big thing on Twitch for a while.
Yeah,
like opening, cracking like $10,000 Pokemon card boosters and stuff like that.
I mean, I told David he's got to do unboxing videos of all these lightsabers and helmets he's buying.
Should we transition our YouTube channel and our podcast into just like that crap?
I think it can be a segment of what we do.
No, you got to go all in.
Oh no.
It's got to be the full hour.
That's excessive.
I think it's something you could definitely do on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Taco Tuesdays.
I'll eat tacos. You open packs.
I feel like that's not a good trade.
You don't get any of the tacos.
All right, well then
So
that's a podcast.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Write it down.
Mucho shakapaka.
Then take the shot, Mickey. Take the shot, Mickey!
For those who don't understand that reference, you're gonna have to put a link.
Yeah,
in
I feel like you should definitely throw that video in somewhere.
Yeah.
If it's even still up, they might have taken it down.
Now you're just trying something.
Don't run from the Lord.
So what is Magic the Gathering, guys? How many gathers do you need?
Jeez. We had to wrap up in an hour. This is at least a 5-hour discussion.
Gosh.
Magic the Gathering is a collectible, tradable card game. I think it started in 93 or 94 or something like that.
History.
I think it's 92.
Legacy.
Because the 30th anniversary I think was last year.
Wow.
Sure. It's like Pokemon on steroids.
Oof.
Like,
so it's like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, then it's like Yu-Gi-Oh on steroids.
Oh my god.
Digimon?
No, Digimon.
So like I feel like Pokemon has been pretty much straightforward since the beginning. They just have new sets come out with different Pokemon, different monsters, whatever.
Right.
But the game mechanics pretty much stay the same for the most part. Magic the Gathering, like every set that comes out, they add new mechanics to the game that change how you play or...
Shoot.
They're calling this set is Phyrexia All Is One. They're calling it the Britney Spears set.
Why?
Because the mechanic is toxic.
Oh,
Radio. Radio.
Very good.
Yeah.
So is that the one that has the minifigures?
No.
That's Warhammer.
Warhammer, yeah. They have
That's a different thing. Again, level 99 nerd.
I don't even know if you can call them figures. We probably really upset the Warhammer community by calling them that.
Let me know in the comments how much of an idiot I am.
They're not figures. They're my children.
They're my kin. Anything else you wanted to bring into the table, Tease? It is a new table.
It is a new table.
In recent time in my nerd life, I guess the only thing that I've been dabbling in that recently started was Hogwarts Legacy, the game.
Oh, that's right. I've been seeing a lot of clips of that.
It's a great game, honestly.
You've been playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
The game?
The game.
Or is it just called Hogwarts Legacy?
Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is the name of the game. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of game is it?
It's like a storytelling quest game, I guess you would call it.
Is it open world?
Yes.
Or is it very linear?
So it is open world. Where I'm at in it, I'm probably like 5 or 6 hours in.
Do you climb towers to reveal parts of the map?
In a sense, yes. So that's one thing I really like about the game is like they have all these, I don't even know what they call them. They're like little flames that light up green when you get to that area.
Okay.
And then as soon as you find that, you can fast travel back to that area immediately.
How do you fast travel? Is it just like a loading screen for fast travel, or is there like an in-game mechanic for it?
No, you just pop open your map, pick whatever little flame.
But don't they have like in the Harry Potter movies? Don't they have a thing where they like shrink down into something?
I've seen it a couple times. I don't even know what you call it. Teleporting, I guess.
And they don't do that for the fast travel?
No, it's all in menu screen jumps. But
man,
swing and a miss.
The game is a lot of fun.
Is that the first Harry Potter game that they've dropped? Open world style?
Open world style, yeah. And I mean, it from what I know, it has nothing to do with like J.K. Rowling or any.
It's not a movie tie-in game.
Yeah,
it's just its own in-universe kind of game.
I think it takes place in like the 1800s. It reminds me of like a very like old England feel.
So slavery hits very different in the game than it did in the newer movies.
I haven't seen that yet, but it will. Yeah.
Is Dobby still around and a slave?
No, but some of his ancestors are.
The house elves are still slaves?
The house elves are still about. Yeah.
Hits differently than doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay.
But the game is fun.
Is it like RPG? Do you like level up a character?
Yeah.
Is it customizable, your character?
So the only customization I've seen so far is like you have 6 different pieces of gear you can wear, like a coat, glasses, a scarf, and you find different sets of that gear throughout your game that boost your level.
So like getting better glasses upgrades your character's ability,
right?
Just like real life.
Yeah.
And if you get a better scarf, naturally
social status,
more powerful, and social status, of course,
more riz.
The better the
scarf, would say.
The better the scarf, the better offense or attack you will have.
Oh,
much like in real life.
Yeah. Okay. In the game, is your character fully voiced? Is it like that kind of a story-based game, or is your character a silent protagonist?
Oh, he's voiced.
Oh. Does he have a lot to say, or?
There is so much dialogue in that game. I'm actually at a point where I just skip everything now.
Are there dialogue choices?
Yeah.
Which one do you usually choose? Are you a jerk?
No, I usually go
friendly.
I usually go like friendly, noble character. I don't want smoke with anyone, you know.
Not until you get the higher scarf.
Not until I learn that Avada Kedavra. I know what I'm saying.
So you can. Well, there's a light side and a dark side where you could just like eventually fall all the way into learning the darkest of arts?
You know, I'm not really sure. It seems very linear, the quests I'm on right now, because I've had like 3 spells I can do. But like every main story quest, you learn new magic. So I'm sure at some point you're gonna get to a point where like, hey, do you want to learn the dark magic?
Dang, tempting offer.
Yeah,
it's never been done before.
Get that third eye opening up.
Yes,
and the combat in it is pretty cool so far. But like all the videos I've seen on Instagram and stuff are just like, when you learn that Avada Kedavra, that's your combat now. That's just the most powerful spell you can do.
3 spells. What are your 3 spells?
I know how to. I don't even know. It's like a Revelio. It shows secret objects around the area.
Okay. Who's hiding objects secretly? Are they like
Oh, dude, it's Hogwarts. Everything's secret around there.
Oh no, my fanfics. They found him.
I know Levio, which is
levitating something.
You pick something up.
Okay.
And the third one is Accio. You bring stuff to you.
So
you move it around in the air.
So some movement.
Yeah.
And revealing.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, and then you have like your basic like wand magic attack. So the combat's very chill.
Stupefy.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that really what it's called?
Yeah, it's like a counter. When you counter on time, you stupefy your enemy.
Sure. Is there a lot of combat?
So far,
who are you getting into fights with?
Mainly, it's just like what are they called? Like golems and like statues.
Okay, not other students.
No,
That's how you get expelled.
I have dueled a couple students, but it's like
on friendly terms.
You don't use lethal magic. It's
a training.
Yeah.
Until the day you have to.
Right.
I tell you what,
that day is approaching.
I only need 3 spells. All right.
Okay.
Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam.
Those are Pokemon, Sean.
Yes.
I'll counter those Alakazams with a Moth.
Bruh.
And a Mothma.
Okay.
My PlayStation pseudonym is T-Rex Wizard, as everybody knows. And you mid-journeyed a T-Rex Wizard. I want you to try it again, though, because it gave me kind of like a Hogwarts-style T-Rex Wizard. I'm thinking more like Gandalf the Gray, Gandalf the White type stuff. Maybe a little Saruman.
Less Harry Potter wizard and more Lord of the Rings wizard.
Yeah.
And an Istari.
Right.
Okay.
That'd be dope.
One last question about Hogwarts Legacy. Is there like a big bad evil you're trying to stop? Is the school under threat and you're the only one who can save it?
So the premise of the plot is you are a 5th year student coming into Hogwarts, which is very odd.
Whoa.
You don't start Hogwarts at a 5th year.
Right.
Wait, I don't even know what that means. Does it mean it's your 5th year at Hogwarts?
Yeah, like most people go to Hogwarts for 5 years. So you're starting Hogwarts at the end, basically.
And you only know 3 spells?
Well, you catch up fast. That's what you have a lot of one-on-one with the professors to learn spells quickly.
Is it kind of like, just like Summer in real life, you like lose all the things you learned real quick?
The Ministry of Magic is just like, hey, we want this kid there for some reason.
Oh.
And you find out you are one of the very few people in the wizarding world who can see ancient magics.
Dang.
They reveal runes and glowing things to you, but only you can see them.
You're a chosen one.
Like a chosen one scenario.
Or Jet Li's the one.
Great movie.
And right now for me,
You've never seen it. No.
The main big bad is a goblin. His name is like Ragnarok or something, but it's not Ragnarok. It's
way better name than whatever it is.
It's like Rangok or Ragnarok. I don't know.
Close enough.
He's a very powerful goblin, the guy. My first encounter with him, he kind of wrecked the professor and I, and we had to get out of there ASAP.
ASAP Rocky. Shout out to him. He's got a second kid coming with Riri.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And he's a goblin, so he's small.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know goblins could be wizards.
Yeah, and he's like,
I thought they just watched the bank. That was
their job. He just could go for your ankles or something.
The banking clan.
Yeah, we'll sign your treaty, or cast abracadabra on you. All right. Well, hopefully you next time we see you have defeated Ragnarok.
I hope so.
You've learned a few more spells.
When did that game drop? Because I've been seeing it all over my timeline.
I want to say like last week, like on the 8th or 9th.
Gotcha.
It's definitely one of the bigger games right now.
Yeah.
Until it gets dethroned. When Resident Evil 4 comes out.
Dang, that's another one I'm excited for.
Good stuff.
I'm looking forward to that.
You know what? I was listening to our podcast the other day where we were talking about our favorite video games, and we didn't even talk about N64 games.
Because who cares?
Dude, Mario 64 is like one of the greatest games ever. That was like that was actually when we got our N64. That's the game that came with it.
I never beat it.
I beat it.
I probably did beat it, but I didn't care.
I beat it much later in life. It was 12 years later when I went back, and then there's like YouTube guides and stuff. It's like, that's how you get there? That's how you do that part? And then it's like, oh, you watch a video on how to beat Rainbow Bowser, and it's actually extremely easy.
Sure.
But at the time, it felt like completely impossible.
Dude, Donkey Kong 64?
Oh my gosh. I actually don't think I beat that game.
Definitely never beat that.
No.
Those games back then were just asking too much of us.
We beat that. You boxed the guy at the end, right?
I don't think I ever beat it.
King K. Rool.
Maybe you're right. I don't remember beating those games though.
I feel like both of those games were the same, where beating it wasn't impossible. It took a very long time, but then like getting all the bananas or getting all the stars, that was the task that I never finished.
It was too much.
I don't think anyone has.
Those games were so in depth. Taps off to those developers.
Honestly, I feel like they were way ahead of their time.
I believe, yeah. I mean,
Probably had an appointment with the Flash and he told him how to make a better game.
how'd they do it? I mean,
Yeah.
the Flash is just so
He's
fast.
He's so fast. He can store his whole suit in his ring.
Yeah. All
Doesn't matter
right.
how sweaty it is. I will like to say the only N64 game I believe with all my heart needs another chance, a remake, is Star Wars Racer.
Which one? Pod Racer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That game was so hard too.
yeah, it was impossible.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like the world is ready for more pod racing.
Dude, you get a pod racing game on Unreal Engine 5?
There you go.
Oh my God. Speaking of racing games, N64 Diddy Kong Racing,
Oh, that was a good one too.
never beat it until later in life. I watched a video and I never knew that you had to get the coins or the bananas or whatever it was. They make you faster in the game.
You always have to get bananas when you're Diddy Kong. You have an addiction.
I never got the bananas.
You have to get them.
Like the only way to get consistently first place is to consistently hit all the speed boosts and to collect bananas along the way. And as soon as I did, I started winning all the races.
Those weren't bananas.
What were they?
Drugs.
Oh, shoot, Diddy. No. And then there's those other random characters that have no backstory, but they're in the game.
They're just trying something.
Yeah. We were long overdue to have a guest. We were long overdue to have Teezy back. This is not the last time we will see him. I mean, you're going to be seeing Ant-Man with us, so we will definitely, pick your brain on that. And we'll tell the audience what you think next time.
One of these days, we're going to get myself, Zach, and Noah in here.
For sure.
And you guys will not be allowed in.
That's fine. Just get the whole Terry clan in here.
Terry's win.
Just tear it
Terry's
up.
win.
All right, fam. This has been episode 31. And
you
we
got
are
it.
thankful for your viewership. Thank you for watching. If you listen to us on Spotify or any of the other platforms for audio podcasts, we thank you. I will say this, though. Sean does an amazing job editing these videos, and watching them on YouTube is by far the best way to ingest your 99 Nerd content. We give taps off to Sean for that. And if you did watch it on YouTube, please leave a comment. Please leave us a 5-star review and give us a thumbs up for the algorithm. Smash that like button for the algorithm to let the world know that 99 Nerds is here to stay.
Click the notification bell.
Do it for all of the
Hit
notifications.
the thumbs up button that's so conveniently placed near the video.
It's really close.
And then just scroll a couple inches down and leave a comment.
Maybe 1.5 inches, yeah. Leave an in-depth comment. That'll do it though. So thank you for watching. We thank you for your viewership. 99 Nerds is by far the best nerd podcast in the galaxy. On a scale of 1
Talk about blow.
on a scale of 1 to nerd, we are 99. And that is gonna do it, fam. Peace.